Well, hey everyone, it is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, and yes, I have been absent for the last couple of days. My name's Tonya Wells, and I wanted to check in with you. Monday, Monday, getting up, getting ready for work, and like this, I guess a stomach virus or a bug or something hit, and needless to say, I was down for the count for that day, and then Tuesday it was like rebuilding. So rebuilding my strength and energy, and as much as that was not fun, I welcomed the reboot, if you know what I mean. Just kind of where everything has to stop, and then you reflect on what you want to do from that point forward and move forward. So anyway, I am back. It is Wednesday, and I want to talk a few minutes about how do you know, and are you able to pick up about yourself, do you know when you're being overly dependent upon someone or something? Yes, I'm going to ask you that question. I want you to pause and think about it just for a moment before I give you an answer. It may not be the only answer, but this is something that is fairly common. I believe you'll begin to see it more in your own life and those around you. I remember there's been a statement that my mom introduced me to years ago, and even she and I have talked about it a little bit. And it is greater the dependency, greater the hostility. I'm going to say that again. Greater the dependency, greater the hostility. And one of the ways that means, and one of the ways that I think about that is the angrier I become. I'll use me as an example first. The angrier that I become because someone is not there in the way that I'm expecting them to be, or what I think I need them to be, my level of anger will reflect the level of dependency that I had upon them. So if I'm slightly irritated, then that will reflect the level of dependency. If I find that, my goodness, I have like this emotional outburst, that is a good awareness that we've had much more dependency upon another than maybe what we realized. And guys, this creates our own suffering. You know, us having this level of dependency upon somebody else doesn't hurt, really. Well, I can't say it doesn't hurt other people. It does to a certain degree, because then they feel like you're needing something from them that they can't always provide, so that it can hurt relationships. But ultimately, it creates suffering in your own life. Well, Tonya, what am I supposed to do with this? Well, first of all, we've got to begin to become aware and recognize when is it that we are more dependent upon other people and other things that are constantly moving, right? For those of us that have a relationship with God, that really truly want to be anchored and have our roots in agape, in this selfless love life of Christ, that is where we get rooted and grounded, because that is what can be solid. That is what never changes, so that when people change and circumstances change, I'm sorry guys, my nose itches, we can be rooted in something greater. What we have a tendency to do is we try to find our security, and we unknowingly depend on so many of these external things that are constantly moving or shifting, or have the capability of moving or shifting unexpectedly. And then what happens when they do? Does it disrupt your peace? Do you get irritated and frustrated and maybe even lash out? Do you turn inward? It's all a reflection of how you've made something else that anchor for your life, and you may not have even known it. You may not have even realized it. So greater, when we realize that there's a greater level of frustration or greater level of anger toward this, then it's a good thing, because it lets us know, wait a minute, I'm depending upon someone or something that is really outside of my control, that is really, how do I want to say this? It's not the thing that's ultimately going to anchor my heart, you know, or to bring peace. That comes from our trust. That comes from a deeper trust in God Himself outside of all these moving pieces. So I want us to be encouraged. If you find yourself getting frustrated and irritated because someone is not doing what you expected them to do or whatever, or maybe you just find yourself getting irritated, period, begin to ask yourself, begin to ask God, okay, wait a minute, what am I putting my security in? What am I putting my dependency in? Because I would guarantee you it's going to be something outside of Him. You know, when we realize that we can trust and move and shift with the changes in our life, that is what truly brings the freedom. That's what brings peace. That's what causes us to grow and mature. And can we have expectations of others? It's not that we don't have expectations, but we let go of our expectation of them being the thing for us that holds us and grounds us in this life. We let go of expecting them to be perfect. We let go of them expecting them to always be there for us, always have everything right for us, you know, all of that, because then that sets them up at a higher place than, what am I trying to say there? It sets them up almost like an idol. It sets them up, well, I guess not like, but, you know, we make them something higher than they're not. So let's reduce our suffering by realizing that it's not the other person's either inconsistency or changing of plans or whatever it may be. It's not the other person as much as it is our dependency upon them. And what do we need to do to change in the midst of that and adjust? Of course, there's a lot more I can speak on this, but we just have a few minutes here this afternoon, and hopefully it has raised some awareness. And again, this is for our growth, so it's a good thing. If we become irritated, let's see where we're attaching to something externally. Let's see where we're making it about how life and things outside is affecting us, and let's get God's perspective on it. Let's think about the other person and move forward. Move forward. I don't know who's here. There's Margie. Maybe she's still here. Susan, Ramona, it's good to see you guys. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.